Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. So, today we are going to learn about a topic called social mobility. And in this, specifically, we are going to learn about the meaning, definition, types, and implications to education. Okay, so let us get into the topic. First, we will learn the meaning and definition. Social mobility is a movement of groups and individuals across the social structure. Okay, social structure in the sense in a society, how a individual means how a person or a group of people move from one position to another. So this definition was also explained by Miller and Wook, W.P. Scott. So if we are able to write this kind of statements, this kind of definitions, this would help you fetch extra marks in your exam. So what are they speaking about the social mobility? Let us see. It is the movement of an individual from one social class strata to another. This is said by Miller and Wook. And what is W.P. Scott saying? He is also saying the same. It refers to the movement of an individual or a group from one social position or class or stratum to another. Okay, so this is the definition. Now let us go to types of social mobility. Okay, so this social mobility is divided into four different types. The first one is horizontal and vertical. Second one is intergenerational mobility. The third one is structural and individual mobility. And the fourth one is absolute and relative. So we are going to learn about each and everything in specific. Okay, starting with horizontal mobility and vertical mobility. Horizontal. Okay, so what is the definition? Change in the position without change in the status. Okay, so here I have given you a perfect example where an engineer working in a factory, he have just resigned the job there and moved to another company with the same position. His position is not changing. His position is remaining the same. His salary is also remaining the same. Just he changed the place. Okay, so that we call it as a horizontal mobility. But when we discuss about this vertical mobility, what is happening is two things may occur here. Okay, there is a possibility of two things. The first thing is moving from bottom to top or moving from top to bottom. Okay, so for that two examples, the first one is factory worker who enrolls in a college and becomes an international businessman. So he's starting his journey from the bottom and moving to the top position. So here this is one of the vertical mobility, and the other one is someone who becomes homeless after not winning the lottery. So now from the top he came back to bottom. Okay, so clearly it will be in this slide. Just take a look. Upward mobility. Okay, moving from down to up. Here the good example here is becoming clerk from a clerk to officer. Okay, and the downward mobility is an engineer accepting a bribe and sentenced to jail. That means already he is in a good position. Being an engineer is a good position. From there he accepted the bribe and he came back to the bottom position. That is, he went to a jail. So this is upward and downward mobility. Okay, we have learnt about horizontal, vertical, and in vertical there is sub-classification which is nothing but upward and downward. Okay, now let us get into the one more type of mobility, intergenerational mobility and intragenerational. Okay, so what is inter? Inter means when we are comparing ourselves to the other person. That's what I have written here. It refers to a change in the status of family members from one generation to another. Okay, when you are comparing yourself with your parents, if your position is better when compared to your parents' position, or your earning is better than your parents, So we call this as a intergenerational mobility. Intra means within ourselves. Okay. So if you are earning better than the previous year, we call this as an intragenerational mobility. The examples are very clear. Have a look here. A lecturer becoming a professor. Okay. So this is all about the inter and intragenerational mobility. Next is structural mobility and individual. So in a simple language, what structural mobility means? See, what are the two different entities here we are speaking about? The two different entities are number one being an individual and number two being in a group. If a group of people are moving from one position to another, then we call it as a structural mobility. Okay, and then individual. The name itself speaks everything. Individual means if only one person is experiencing up and down movements in a social ladder, we call it as an individual entity. Fine. Let us get into relative and absolute. I think this is the last one. Okay. So if relative means again comes comparison, with whom are you comparing? You are comparing with your parents' income. Okay. So if the measure, it's a measure how a child's ranking in the income distribution compared to her or his parents. And absolute, here earlier in the relative you compared between your parents and yourselves, but now it is about comparing across the generations. I have given a good example. When a region's economic development provides education to a social group that previously did not have access to education, it is bringing up a whole group of people to a good position, means access, giving them access to education. Okay, so this we call it as an absolute mobility. So these are about all the types of mobilities: vertical, horizontal, and inter, and one more thing is structural individual mobility and relative absolute. So one more thing which we are yet to discuss is this implication to the education. So what is it in the field of education? What is the meaning of mobility in the field of education? So I've given 4 very nice points. Just have a look. Education is directly related to the mobility and improves the economic status of a person. Of course, if a person is educated properly only, he'll be able to go to a good position. Okay, he will be at the top position in the ladder. Formal and non-formal, whichever the process of education may be, either you take it formally or informally, it will give you the top position. Okay, higher education helps in gaining higher income, and even the women education, it also causes the social mobility. Okay, so this is all about the social mobility. I hope you understood the meaning, definition, types and implications to education. If you still have any doubt, kindly let me know in the comment section. And guys, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I'll be back with another topic in another video. Thank you.